a broad question about, I'm going to paraphrase, about offshoring and outsourcing to places like Sri Lanka, India, and others. If I heard you correctly, you said you've actually benefited from the phenomenon, but you've seen your neighbors not benefit so much.
My family overseas.
Your family abroad. And the question is, and this is a question of broad economic policy, not monetary policy or Fed policy. You know, why isn't that we're doing something about that? Is that fair?
Yes.
First, I'll stay within my transcribed circle. I'm not an expert on the subject. It's not relevant to monetary policy per se, so it's not part of my day job. So what you get basically is an informed observer's views. First, the picture is somewhat more mixed. 2 years ago, there was a trend of repatriating some of those service jobs for a variety of reasons back to the U.S. economy. Just last week, I met with the CEO of a major firm that has taken manufacturing from Chinese sourcing and brought it back to Columbus, Georgia, for very technical reasons, and that is that workers in the United States are more innovative. They have a tendency to make suggestions of how to improve things, and they got better productivity out of American workers. And also he did it because what their product is rather large and heavy, and the shipping costs to the final buyer basically outweighed the labor costs. And in this particular anecdotal case, he said labor was only 8% of product cost. That's probably a very important point. We're not going to lose jobs where, let's say, well-paid labor is a small percentage of the product. But the worldwide trends in an open trading system are clearly that where well-paid labor is a very large percentage of the final product, the tendency is to go offshore where the labor is cheaper. I would not stand up here and broadly, sweepingly be an opponent of free trade. We have an open system. We gain from it, and there are adjustments that have to be made because of it. But I don't think it's all one way any longer. I think a lot of companies are reconsidering sort of some of the decisions they made and bringing some of that work back. Well, the lady's question really relates to whether I see the Glass-Steagall Act being reenacted, or something very similar. And I don't see that happening. I think the integration of loan markets and capital markets, often with a single institution having a role in each market, is too well advanced. I sort of see it as a genie out of the bottle, and therefore it's more that to manage the tensions that are in those two historically separated roles than it is to really roll back the movie to Glass-Steagall. I don't really see that developing. In the regulatory reform proposed legislation is the so-called Volcker rules, which to a degree address some of the concerns that you described very well. And that is that large financial institutions would be limited in their ability to do proprietary trading, trading for their own account, also limited in their ability to sponsor hedge funds and private equity funds, and a few other activities that are viewed as risky and not connected to a customer. And I don't know if this will pass. Again, the definitions exactly have to be worked out of what constitutes proprietary trading, but the thrust of it is part of the existing bill, and so there's, I'd say, a quite reasonable chance we'll see some limitations on some of those activities that you referred to, but not strictly speaking the separation of them again as we had in Glass-Steagall.
I appreciate you coming here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.